You guys better put on a bulletproof vest today. You better put on a bulletproof vest. You're going to need it. This is the shit right here that stops you from going back to a Super Bowl and winning. Howie Roseman, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles, took a blowtorch to the greatest, or if you want to say, the most accomplished defense in Eagle history. They took a blowtorch and played Moneyball like I always tell you. Why? What's the point? I'll tell you why. They refuse to spend money on defense. Gardner Johnson was owed $8 and then $11.5 next year. There's the bulk of the money for Zach Bond. They refuse to pay money. So 4 of your starters of your 11 are gone, and 2 significant contributors, Oren Burks and Isaiah Rodgers, gone. 6 players that were instrumental in you winning the Super Bowl. Let's face it, the side of the football that won the Super Bowl for you last year was the defense. It was the defense. You shredded that side of the ball because obviously your emphasis is on offense. It's where all the money deals are. The Philadelphia Eagle mentality is that defense is a luxury. Unfortunately, the last 3 years have shown you, if you don't have a top-flight defense, you can't win a Super Bowl. You blew apart the most accomplished defense in team history. You've got more questions now than you did a year ago, or as many. Hey, you know that notion where all of you guys say, hey, guess what? Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, those guys benefited from having Jalen Carter. Well, let's find out how Jalix Hunt and Moro Ajomo and their impact they have on more triple teams coming for Jalen Carter. You're going to put lesser players, and wait a minute, in a draft pick, and you think that's going to suffice double teams and triple teams on Carter? Are you fucking high? Yeah, that's right. Lesser players ought to reduce the double teams. Sure. How? Common sense. Use it. Try using it. Here's the problem that the Eagles have with Gardner Johnson. They don't know how to coach him. They love the player, hate the person. I don't give a shit if he's Satan. If he can play, start him. You don't win championships with choir boys. 3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 Super Bowl wins. Whatever. You're going to eat what words? Eat what words? You mean your actions? What fucking words are you talking about, Reyes? There's not one thing I just made up. By the way, so Christian Parker and Gardner Johnson have had words. Holy shit. One of the main problems that you get with a guy with an attitude. I played on some of the most incredibly difficult teams for a coach to deal with all the personalities. Personalities are secondary. Winning football games. I don't give a shit what some of you are saying in here right now. 0. I am not paying one bit of attention to any of this. The victory parade is over. That is nowhere near the number 1 defense. I don't give a shit what you think. It ain't. That is not the number one defense. Gardner-Johnson deal. $8 million this year, $11.5 next year. Now it's the Texans' issues. And you get Kenyon Green. By the way, the A&M kid has been brought here to start. They're losing Becton to Chicago, what I'm hearing. Hey, by the way, I have nothing to do with this. Whatever you're saying to me is irrelevant to what has happened since Monday. Zero. You're wasting your stupid typing fingers. You're wasting it. Sidney Brown, Keely Ringo, give me a fucking break. C students. C students. C students. Shit, I don't even know if Sidney Brown can play. Keely Ringo, who? Holy shit. You bet this is funny. Watching a general manager take a blowtorch to the number one ranked defense. Self-inflicted wounds. Get this. Let me get Anthony's super chat up here. And I'm going to show you how absolutely asinine this take is by him. I knew you were going to overreact. Overreact to what? Losing 4 starters and 2 key components to your defense that was number one? Okay. No, you're right, Anthony. I'm sure they'll be number one next year. With who? How are you fixing this in the draft? Who's taking Milton Williams' spot? Who's taking Josh Sweat's spot? A starting linebacker in the playoffs and Super Bowl is now in Cincinnati. Rodgers would have been a nice fit. Where are you getting these so-called players from? Hey, dude, you're in line for a 2023 season. Worst of all, you did this yourselves. Now, look, I get the Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, but weren't you trying to limit the damage? Weren't you? Holy shit. What an assassination on the best defense in football. Took that fucker right apart. Congratulations. You weren't beat on the field. You were beat in the boardroom. Because Howie Roseman plays Billy Bean Moneyball on the defensive side of the ball. Everyone said the same shit last year. Okay. Last year, you had these players on your team. You didn't have as many exits on your team as you did this year. What are you talking about? What are your sources telling you on the CJ trade? You don't think Vic signed off on this? No, I don't. This is financial stuff. How are we moving money around again? Gardner-Johnson's contract is how they paid Bond, along with the exits of Bradbury and Slay. Okay, hey, Marshall, I do not believe that defense right now or in this offseason will be addressed to be the number one defense. Tell you what, we'll go here again. No problem. Said the same shit last year. Get this. Okay, I don't give a fuck what you say. I do not. There is not a chance in hell that's the number. Where are you getting these players from? Oh, I get it. So you're going to go dollar store shopping again on defense. Is that right? Holy shit. You can always count on the Eagles for drama. The fact that they think Gardner Johnson's a piece of shit and they don't want to keep him. Funny, every time. Hey, who's going to be the so-called energy leader on that team now? Who? Show me. Hey, by the way, here's your defense. Let's take a look at it. Here's the number one off-season defense. Moro Jomo. Who? Trotter, not ready. Bryce Huff is your strong side linebacker. The guy sucks. Sidney Brown, how funny. Keely Ringo's your starting corner. Let me ask you this. Seriously, the idea was to separate yourself from the rest of the NFC teams. Why would you pull them closer? You narrowed the gap. That's not a top-flight defense. I cannot stop laughing at this. You took a blowtorch to your own fucking defense. How funny. How he still has an ego problem. People kiss his ass because he's done so well recently. I give him his props. Me too. But that bear upside his forehead was karma. Hey, Divine, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. How fucking funny. Why did you take a blowtorch to your defense? How about we ask the simple question where we can all agree on? Why did you take a blowtorch to your defense? How about we answer the simplest question? The simplest question. Why'd you take a blowtorch to your team? Tell me why. Sidney Brown can't tackle. Why did you take a blowtorch to your team? Hey, and by the way, what a pathetic reason to get rid of Gardner Johnson. Because he's got a big mouth? He's a big-time player. Why the fuck would you get rid of him? Because you can't coach him? What a pathetic move. Totally pathetic. You kept Zach Bond and fired everyone else on defense. That was significant. Over money for sure. Holy cow. You took a fucking blowtorch to a defense that had more accomplishments than Gang Green itself. Why? Answer why. Just simple. I'll ask even the people that love everything that's going on. Why? Why? Money? Okay, so you're cheap on D. Hold on. Why did you do it? Why? Nobody can answer or nobody will. Why did they blow up the number one defense in the NFL? 5 D starters gone on the best D ain't a good look. Young defense can fly around with 6 nobodies. The fuck are you kidding? Replaceable, really? Get this. You see this guy here, Heath? This guy, this dumbass here? Carter had double teams out the ass last year, and he had two great players on the D-line in Sweat and Milton Williams. He thinks Morrow and Jomo and Jalix Hunt are going to limit the double teams and a draft pick. What a fucking idiot. That is a fucking idiot. Two guys who just got $20 million north of those deals, and he thinks some fucking nobodies are going to limit the double teams on Jalen Carter. What an asshole. What an absolute asshole. Yeah, that's right. Lesser players will limit the double teams. Yeah. Okay. He's traded. He took credit for the Super Bowls in his beef with Slay. This is not a fucking reason to dump players right here, Stay. I don't give a shit about bitching players going back and forth. I care about productive players. This shit means dick to me. You kidding me, man? Dude, remember I told you about guys in the collective group and how you rebuild your team. One move doesn't make me all go crazy over anything. Collective groups of moves, that's what's going to win you a Super Bowl. Or not. Let me ask you this. Why in the fucking world would you bring yourself closer to your competition by taking good players off your team? Is that not what you did? You do not have replaceable players for the players that have been exited off your team. Hence, Gardner Johnson, every year he was an Eagle, was in a Super Bowl. You do not have one player that can take the role of the players you've lost. None. Not even Oren Burks. Trotter's not Burks. Where are you getting that? Stupid fans. Stupid. We still have a top two best players on defense. What? Where? You got one elite player on defense. One. Well, Q, we'll see. Cooper, we'll see. 1 year doesn't make a career, my friend. What's crazy is you understand the sweat. You kind of get it. Get this. You know what Eagle fucking dumbass fans are doing? Some of them. Well, he's got a blown knee. That's why he got $20 million, and he was the best player on the Super Bowl field. Yeah, okay. Right. He's the fucking best player on the field. But he sucks now. Typical. I would have trust Howie. I do, but I am with you, Sales. I want to know why we lost our enforcer swag by trading CJ. Not a happy Eagle fan today. You lost your attitude. You lost your fucking attitude. Hey, man, I'm not a real Giant fan of the kid. I do dig his game. Do me a favor. Xander, I missed some supers. You fucking put a blowtorch to your team. You're a madman, Sills. Must be stopped by being accountable. You blow your guns way too soon. You just witnessed Vic turn the worst defense in the league to number one. Good luck to you, Marshall. Fucking A. Good luck to you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Trotter's a bum. CJA, 12 interceptions in 2 years. That's insane great. Says I'm pretty upset about these moves. I'm sure I'm not done. I'm not alone. What a tragedy. You ripped apart the fucking best defense in the league for nothing. Jalen Carter's a $40+ million player next year. Need cap space. So you fuck over the number one defense to make sure that happens. Okay, well, be prepared. Your defense will take 10 steps backwards. And you're hoping your offense will be good enough, which it wasn't last year. The defense carried that. Guys, the defense carried you last year to the playoffs. They carried you. The star side of the ball, do you know how hard it is to build an elite defense? You finally had one. And you just put a blowtorch to it. Makes no sense. The shit makes no sense. And all because why? You had a problem with the player's attitude. Fucking weak. Do your job and coach them. Not a chance in hell, that defense, the way it is right now. That defense looks pretty okay. You look like the Rams. Funny, you made the Rams, the Lions, and the Commanders' job so far in the offseason a little easier. How you doing? You see this fucking comment and this dumb comment by Sue? That's when championship teams are fucking built, Sue, in March and in April, when you're putting your roster together. Try reading a book. You don't build your Super Bowl team in September. Sills, you're contradicting yourself about Williams and Sweat. No, that's not what I said. You said there's no way they could re-sign them and that it would hurt in the long run with signing Carter and Coop. My intentions were this. I didn't realize that you were going to start whacking players that you needed in your secondary. How come you couldn't sign Isaiah Rodgers? He was an awesome swing guy. Burke started for you in the playoffs. Those were limited moves. You get the Sweat and the Milton move. Not all of them. Not all of them. What's the point of letting Isaiah Rodgers? Dude, Isaiah Rodgers is a good player. Keely fucking Ringo, whatever. Took a blowtorch to the best defense in Eagle history. A blowtorch. By the way, Nakobe Dean, he ain't even going to be ready for September. And you trade for another guy who was considered a bust in Houston. I get it with Stoutland. Look what he did with Becton. I guess this is like fucking rehab. I guess the NovaCare Center's a rehab center now. Right? It's like a rehab center for stiffs. Wow. You talk about ego. Nobody with any brains would sit here and go, 5 starters gone out of 11. 5. Half your defense. Really? You still think? Hey, by the way, I'm not even going to ask the most asinine question because I know I'll get an asinine answer. Why even ask it? Still got the number 1 defense in it. No, you don't. You're not even remotely close to it. This is comical. It's March 11th. Here's your defense. Here's how many question marks you have. How about this? We'll agree to this. Okay, we'll agree to this here. Watch this. Moro Jomo, question mark. On the production. Des the Joe. Has your opinion changed on Howie now? No. I missed one, Xander. No. He loves being a star. Here. Question mark. Left defensive end. Question mark. Will linebacker. Bond and Carter are 2 best with 8 returning starters. Get this. Look at this shit. 8 returning starters? No way. 1 gone. Right inside linebacker will not start the season. Nakobe Dean. There's 2. Strong side linebackers new. 3. Safety. Brown. 4. Killy Ringo. 5. Get some math, dude. Just like I told you about Williams. Now you're glazing him. Well, I'm glazing him because he got a $26 million deal and he was a versatile player. Glazing him? Why would you not glaze him? You fucking paid. You developed him. You played him. He starred for you. Why wouldn't you glaze him? Why? Because he's not fucking with you? Stupid take. Again, Marshall, 0 for 3. What more are you going to take the fucking collar? Be a perfect start for the Phillies in the 3-hole. Give a shit what you think. There's got to be a reason other than money. It's not. It's not, Josh. Oh, for CJ? Oh, it's attitude. And it's 2 things, Josh. They had to pay Bond. They weren't going to up the salary on that side of the ball in any way. Hey, show me this. Show me a guy on that side of the fucking ball that has double-digit figure outside of the stiff Huff and Bond. Name me one. Well, they're coming. They're not going to. You know how many players on that football team are not going to get second contracts? It's a staple of how they do business. Manufactured out. What? Yeah, that's what I do. Manufactured outrage. Who in their fucking right mind would ever think that about me if you've ever watched my show? What an asshole. Sills, maybe your connections can get something out of Vic. Might be upset for CJ freelance and that. It's attitude. It's attitude and money. Big Marshall. Manufacturing bullshit. That's who Big Marshall is. Manufacturing bullshit. Does Vic have any input in these decisions? When it comes to personnel and cap, no. No. Why? This is how they've done business for the last 10 years. No. Doesn't matter if Vic's the DC or if it's Sean Desai or if it's Jonathan Gannon. Are you trying to tell me business has changed? It hasn't. Love the show, Sills. Your overreaction today is bigger than your belly. Keep it up. Okay. Let me ask you this. How are you not pissed off you blew up and put a blowtorch to the number 1 defense? How are you not upset? I would ask you this. How many number 1 defenses have you had in the last 50 years? 2. You had it in your hands and you blew it up. Why? Nobody will answer. How fucking funny. You take shots at me, but you won't answer the simplest fucking question. Why did they blow it up? I mean, everyone that has a problem with me right now, you're aiming your energies in the wrong fucking direction. Aren't you upset that you have blown up the number 1 defense in the NFL? You're not upset with that. Okay? Why would you be? Know what the fuck you're talking about? because we trust. Hey, get this. This is what you've had the last couple of years here. You had a great 22, and you had a shit 23 because of personnel decisions and hirings. 24, great year. We'll see what happens in 25. It goes like a roller coaster. So you can assume every other year you're going to suck. That's the way you do business. Why would you bring the rest of the league closer to you? Get this. This is what you guys think you're going to do. It's one thing to find Zach Bond and plug him in and play linebacker. You had the entire front four last year. You had the entire front four last year. This year, you've got to replace 2 in the front four, a starting corner, a starting safety. It's different. What a bunch of shit. Some of you are the dumbest people I've ever spoken to. And it's remarkable on how asinine some of your takes are. You've lost 5 fucking starters. 5. And you still think you're the best defense in the league. Your team is not the same right now. That's not the same. That's not the championship Eagle team that was just a month ago. Watch this. How many people in here believe the Eagles are still the number 1 defense in the NFL? You want to get some fucking laughs? Watch this shit. Question. How many people in here believe that fucking the Eagles are the number 1 defense? You want to get some laughs? Here they come. Look at this guy. 1. Kenyon fucking Green. Stiffest of stiffs. I don't get it. He's a bust. We'll see, though. Anybody, do you really believe that you had the number 1 defense in the league right now? Nobody. Nobody believes that with any brains. Nobody. I'm upset because I saw here. You know why I'm upset? I saw fucking greatness. Every week, it was astonishing how good that defense was. They were astonishing in the Super Bowl. You had a rare collection of men that were just insane. Very rarely does that come around, that you're on a unit like that. Three Super Bowl appearances and Howie. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Again, let me fucking get back 3 seconds of my life that I just clicked on that dumb shit. Sills, Howie blew it up because the salary allocation is not balanced. How many times have I told you that, Bob? That's an unbalanced cap. Howie believes Vic and Stout can recreate the past. This is the defense merry-go-round we will stay on. Howie gives you content. You had greatness in your hands and you just let it fucking go away. How in the hell do you do that? Man, what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Blew up the best fucking defense in Eagle history. Because Gardner Johnson couldn't get along with Christian Parker. You want to hear something else I was told? Let me read this little tidbit here for you. I think you're going to get a little nice, you're going to get a nice little conversation here with this. Big Sills, in the building sources. Howie and Lurie got into it the other day. You can hear Howie, in fact, in the offense, shouting, I'm tired of these players with their fucking podcasts and shit and radio shows. All in the media. You told Lurie he's had enough of it. Done with this. Lurie's not happy with it. He ultimately left it up to Howie to make decisions. You had incidences all year with it. If there's one thing that organization loves to do, they love throwing smoke screens. That bullshit Saquon Barkley fucking presser yesterday meant nothing except that, you know what it was set up for? So that you don't get your panties in a bind, that you're blowing up the number one defense. If you can't see that, you're dumber than I thought you were. They had that nothing Barkley presser yesterday because why? They wanted to throw some fucking smoke and they wanted to make sure your panties didn't get in a bind when free agency hit and everybody was gone. Holy shit, are you simple? You're sheep. Sheep. Most of you can be told anything. Eagles give you a reach around, you're all smiles. What a fucking tragedy. Now, maybe I'm a little more sensitive to it because I'm a defensive type guy. I couldn't believe how great they were. I just couldn't fucking believe it. The team you have right now on March 11th, you ain't going back to that game. Not with that fucking group of defensive guys. Get this. Well, we got Jalen Carter. Yeah, Cleveland's got Myles Garrett. You're lucky you got that offense. That's the only way you're in the building. It ain't because of that defense. Bryce Huff. Really? If Bryce Huff starts, you're fucking in trouble. Lost 4 starters and you got 2 coming off injury. No, that's not true. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? 2 coming off injury. You've lost Milton Williams. You've lost fucking Josh Sweat. You've lost Slay. You've lost CJ. Where the fuck are you saying coming off injuries? I must have missed that. Oh, I got you. I know what you're saying, brother. I got you. I got you. I got you. Got you, brother. Sorry, Sills, I don't know there was such a thing as Kenyon Green fans. I can't believe that CJ was the heart and he was ripped out. Brian, I'm with you. I got you, bro. I misinterpreted that. Got you, brother. I got you. Apologize. 4 starters out, he meant. And you got 2 dudes that are banged up in Dean and Smith who can't stay healthy. This is fucking classic. So let me ask you this. Where are you getting these replacements? Is he trading? Trading what? The last pick in every round? So you're going to count on more rookies. Next year, free agent, what are we doing? Who's picking up? Who's going to pick up the production for Milton Williams and Josh Sweat combined? You want to hear something fucking funny? You want to see something funny? Guys, post in here and tell me, come on, Anthony, who's picking up for the production of Gardner Johnson 6 picks, Sweat's 8.5 sacks, and Milton's versatility. You want to hear the list of fucking nobodies? All you got to do is watch Anthony post them. Don't be skipping my supers. Gotcha, Anthony. Apologize. Calling your fan base dumb because you don't agree. No. I'm calling the fan base dumb for anybody who thinks that's the fucking number one fucking defense in the NFL. Anthony, if you don't know me by now, you'll never will. Anthony, you know better than that. Don't make me fucking give you a reach around. I thought you were bigger than that. You give me shit. If we have to depend on drafting, I go to Kid Starks at Georgia. A rookie again? All right. The shit you're talking. What shit am I talking? You've lost these fucking players. Hall of Fame GM, how you doing? This guy's the executioner. Build it up, tear it down. Build it up, tear it down. Build it up, tear it down. Man, now I know why you had shitty linebackers last year. Better hope Zach Bond plays his ass off this year and he don't have a down year. You better pray you don't get any injuries either. Unlike you did a year ago where you didn't have any. You better hope that's the room. Okay? What an absolute incredible blowtorch. Hey, Anthony, I love you, brother. Me too. You know we're boys. Dude, Anthony, all kidding aside here. All kidding aside. My aggravation with this, Anthony, bro, I love you, man. My aggravation with this is that I saw a really special group of men. I know you couldn't keep all of them, Anthony. But to go in there now and completely rip apart your football team the way it's been on that side of the ball, I really just started really liking that side of the ball and what they were doing and where they were going and the journey they were on and the love they had for one another and how they played for each other. I mean, maybe that's where I'm at. See Sue in here? Sue says they have a plan. Yeah, but the plan doesn't have where you get the same type of men in the room. You don't, hey, Sue, you can't clone number one and championship defenses. You can't clone them. It's a special group of men. I don't know. I just felt a little let down this time. I'm not saying 6-7 wins. I don't know yet. Sills, here's the silver lining. Howie's probably the only GM in the league who can rebound from fire sale quickly. The team today will not be the team in August or December. Yeah, it's either going to be hit or bust. That's what I just got through saying, Bob. It's either hit or bust. Safety Justin Simmons is a free agent. You're going to pay him $8 million? Why don't you keep Gardner Johnson? Like you said, Sills, can't fall in love with players. Yeah, but you can fall in love with a unit. It's not the players. It's the unit. You're missing it. It's the unit. We'll see if Howie's planning and calculus in any way near effect is coming this coming year. Expected a drop off into the middle of the pack statistically on defense. That's my opinion. Harv. Yeah. Right now, that defense is about the 15th or 16th ranked defense in the league with that personnel. And with rookies, we'll see. So, do you think Howie mailed it in? No. You believe so? This guy we just got was ranked 82, 83 in qualified guards, but we're championship move. I mean, I think this guy here has been a colossal disaster in Houston. He was the 15th pick out of A&M. Now, look, Howie believes that Jeff Stoutland can make him into another Mekhi Becton. You know what Mekhi Becton's being offered? Between $11 to $12 million from the Chicago Bears. That's just one team. Again, this is not about one guy. It's about the unit. It's just about the group of guys that I really liked. I mean, here, you want to hear another one here? Let me put this out here, Anthony, before I read yours. Here's another one. You know what New England's saying? New England's saying that they're in contact with 3 teams right now, and in the belief that they can move out of that, I think the 3rd pick, which would be Abdul Carter. And one of the conversations is with the Eagles for A.J. Brown. Do I believe that? I don't know. Most likely, no. But that's what the Boston folks and the people that covered the team are saying, that New England is in conversations with 3 teams, and the Eagles are one of them. That doesn't mean the Eagles are receptive to that. That just means that they might trade for Abdul Carter, A.J. Brown in New England. Now, look, like I said, I don't know. After blowtorching the defense, anything is possible with Howie. Anything. Somebody goes, it's a huge mistake. Gardner Johnson's a huge mistake. You had the guy under contract for, you know, it's funny. I kept telling Xander, hey, you know, you're going to need another safety. Oh, they got Gardner Johnson for 2 years. That's what I thought, too. I said, oh, yeah, you're right. I never thought they liked the player. I never thought they liked him. You trade A.J. Brown for the 3rd pick in the draft. And 2s and 3s, and you move up and get Abdul Carter? It's not stupid, but I don't know. How much do you think of Abdul Carter? I think he's a good player, a really good player. But that, I don't know. I don't think so. He's going to go in those top 3 picks. He's going to go Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter. It's the 4th, okay. Carolina's up there, I think. Not trading. I mean, I'm not taking anything off the table now. Boy, when Howie Roseman said this thing was going to look different, holy shit, was he not kidding? Holy shit, was he not kidding? Man, why did you blowtorch your defense? Like I said, here, and get this. So Gardner Johnson, the Eagles didn't like him because of his attitude and the money he made. And he and Christian Parker had constant words with one another throughout the season, is what I'm being told. Okay? I mean, that's why you got rid of him? Guy who had 12 interceptions the last 2 years he was in Philadelphia and 2 Super Bowl appearances? That's why you cut him loose and traded him for a stiff? Get this. There's enough leadership on defense with who? Who's your leader on defense? Carter, you constantly have to calm down? Vaughn? Maybe. Who else? Who else? Carter, who gets in conversations with his head coach constantly for his behavior in games, is the leader? No, thank you. Hey, sometimes your best player is not your best leader. Dean? How can Dean be a fucking leader when he's constantly injured? Sills, I agree. You can't replace how Slay and Gardner Johnson made the back end of the defense. It sucks. What do you think about Alexander trade? Here's what I would say to you. Bearded, why not keep the guys you had then if you're going to go trade for a guy like that and pay him? How does that make sense? I'd rather stay status quo. So a guy who wasn't drafted, Reed Blankenship, is now the leader on defense. Okay. He's about your 15th best player on your team. That's your leader on defense. All right. You got rid of a guy because you didn't like him. Damn, dude. You don't win You don't win championships without having choir boys on your football team. You're not going to win fucking championships with those dudes. You're going to win them with Warriors, whatever that looks like. Fucking kidding me. Snowflake heaven. How upset are we about losing Goddard? Dude, I think they're going to cut his ass. Production-wise, how much does Hurts feel comfortable throwing the ball to the tight end? Most games, you can't find him. You forgot to read the last one, and you're right. Apologize, brother. If I missed your super chat here. Love you more, bro. You might be right that the team had chemistry. Hey, Anthony, that's my deal. I'll take a step back. It's a long season. I'll judge it in its entirety, which is fair. Anthony, it just was a special group of men. I hate ripping a room up of special men. You know what I mean? They weren't the flashiest super guys in the league. There was the right chemistry of players. Guys who were prove-it guys. Guys who were stars in college. Guys who weren't stars in college. Guys who had transferred from college to college. Guys who were given another shot at the bite of the apple in the NFL all came together and performed for 20 weeks of sensational defense. That's what I'm pissed about. So maybe that's where I'm at. You got to understand something with me. I love exceptional defense. And when guys are playing the way that those guys played It was special to watch. No blitzing in the Super Bowl, and you got home against Mahomes and crushed them with that defense. That's the disappointing part here. That's the disappointing part. Again, it's about it's about a special group of men. Do you think they made the right trade because they know they were losing Becton? That's right. They're hedging their bets because they're really feeling that Becton's going to Chicago. Maybe he can help to do it. By the way, I'm not leaving that stone unturned. By the way, give me a total on the likes. Please hit the like button. Your supers have been great. Thank you. Guys, listen. Free agency in the draft is not going to fix these holes. It's not. You got too many question marks. Way too many. By the way, Howard Balzer is going to talk to us, our Hall of Fame voter, at the bottom of the hour, 3:30 Eastern. We're going to get his spin on why Josh Sweat was the number one priority by the Arizona Cardinals. We'll get his take on why Gannon wanted him and his take on Howie and the Eagles. He's also a guy who helped put Eric Allen in the Hall of Fame. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Xander will join us at 4:30. Sills, how would you put this team back together? Great question. Got it here. There's no question. Trade has to be made. Moro Ajomo at left defensive end. How competent do I think he is on replacing the versatility and the production? You know what's crazy? You guys think Moro Ajomo can replace Milton Williams. Well, why wouldn't you get rid of Jordan Davis? Because if that's the case, Moro Ajomo was more productive than Jordan Davis too. Why are you keeping the lesser of the three guys? Okay. Well, why are you keeping the lesser of the three guys? Wait a minute. This guy says I'm sleeping. Moro Ajomo is that good and you think he can replace Milton, then he was better than Jordan Davis. I don't like the CJ trade one bit. All I could do is sit and wait. I'm with you on the chemistry. I don't understand it, but I don't know what the conversations are being had. Love the show. Thank you, brother. Xander, I missed the super chat here if we can throw that up. Thank you, Q. I appreciate it. Slay knew they were trading CJ. That's why I made comments about Blankenship being leaders. Yeah. You see Lane Johnson throw that out too? Howie AZN? I think more to come. Becton's gone. My opinion. Get this. Look at this here. So people are going, Moro Ajomo can replace Milton. Isn't that what I just said? So Moro Ajomo then was better than Jordan Davis too. And you kept that fucking guy instead of dealing that guy for some more pieces. I'm not paying that guy. Moro Ajomo and Milton Williams were better players the last 3 years than that guy by far. by far. And you want to extend him. Why? Your thinking's ass backwards. If you think that money's the reason you blew up the number one defense. Like I said, you're cheap on defense. All you do is move money around. You don't add to it. You never have. In my 5 years covering your defense, you have never added money to that side of the ball. That Zach Bond deal is not an ad. It's a lateral move. You got rid of Slay and Bradbury contracts and the 2 D linemen and CJ's contract to pay the guy. Congratulations. You sacrificed 4 contracts to pay 1 guy on defense. How's that not what happened? Yeah, Bryce Huff is a miss. Get this. The highest paid player, there's the 2 highest paid players on defense are Zach Bond, okay, and Bryce Huff. Congratulations. Sounds great. Now here, Paul, let me ask you. I wonder if Justin Simmons comes into focus. Why would you pay $8 million when you had a guy making $8 million? That's what that guy's going to cost you. Could be clearing the base for a big trade. Anthony, I wonder if that Trey Hendrickson deal comes into focus now. It looks like maybe a Trey Hendrickson deal is not that far out of reach. Maybe that's what they're doing here. And they're trying to clear room to make that happen. I don't know. That is a spitball. Sills, could the trade rumor for A.J. Brown be actually to get Travis Hunter? You get a DB and a hybrid. I find that hard to believe that they would make that move for him. I don't believe that. How about this? How he moves up to that 4th pick. Trading AJ, moves down, gets 2 1s or 3 1s. And he has 3 first-round picks because he moved back down out of 4 to 10, and he grabs the tight end, and he has 2 more first-round picks. I don't know. A lot of work has been created by the Eagles. Okay? You move AJ, you move up to 4, you trade down into the first round still, you acquire a number 1 from another team, and that would give you 3 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks, excuse me. You would have to get another one because of AJ's value. 4th pick has a huge value. Does he do that and grab the tight end from Penn State at 10? I'm just spitballing this. I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on. Man. I mean, once again, they're talking about Justin Simmons. Okay. I mean, I'm keeping an eye on my email. I got a guy up in New England. By the way, I'm talking to Alonzo Highsmith in New England. Okay? That's where I got that from. We need that a little too much youth. Kimbos. You got rid of Gardner Johnson because you couldn't coach him. You love the player and you hate the kid. Do you know how many guys I played with like that coaches had that attitude towards? You know what the good coaches do? They overlook that shit. It's called the Jimmy Johnson weighing scale. Give me the production, I'll let you talk shit. You know who was exactly like Gardner Johnson? Charles Haley. Charles Haley was exactly like that. That's why the 49ers moved him. Was completely uncoachable. You know what Jimmy did? You don't want to practice? Okay. That means 6 tackles and sack and a half every fucking game. Or guess what happens? You're out of here. Well, that guy won 5 Super Bowls with that shitty attitude of his. The good coaches and the good organizations know how to deal with that. Dude, there's a reason they moved him again. You had him 2 years under contract. You don't want to pay him, and you hate the guy. There's no other explanation for that. He was too expensive, and his attitude was too much. What other reason would it be that you moved him? What other reason? What other reason did you move him? He had 6 interceptions for you. What, he finished 3rd? So let me get this right. Gardner Johnson finished 2nd. No, wait. He finished 3rd and 1st in the interceptions in the 2 years he played for you, and you were in the Super Bowl twice, and you fucking moved off him. Oh, okay. Why? Because you hated him. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You hated him. He's not part of the. How is a guy with 12 interceptions? How old is? Hey, Kyle. How old is Gardner Johnson? Get this. Dave goes. Gardner Johnson got a ring. He wants to get paid. He's got 2 years on that deal, dude. He ain't getting a raise in Houston. He's owed $8 million this year and $11.5 next year. Houston's not giving him more money. He's 27 and has been to 2 Super Bowls and had 12 picks in 2 years in Philly. Okay. Let me say this right to you. Am I right when I say this? Xander, correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, Howard's going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Am I right when I say Gardner Johnson has been to 3 straight NFC championship games in a row? Am I right? Has Gardner Johnson been to 3 straight NFC championship games in a row? Am I right when I say that? So let me ask you this then. If Jalen Hurts wins, doesn't he? LT wiped out Columbia night on Saturday, wiped out quarterbacks on Sunday. Parcells didn't care. Absolutely. The reason why Howie traded CJ is because Howie smoked crack this morning. So Gardner Johnson has gone to 3 straight NFC championship games, been to 2 Super Bowls, and the Eagles move off because they fucking hate him. All right. That sounds like a strategy. And their strategy, Sidney Brown. I guess all he does is win. Well, you moved a guy who was a star for you. You notice one thing that's very evident? If you've got any kind of conversation or attitude, like a Reddick or Gardner Johnson, and you don't toe the line, you're gone. No matter how productive you are, you're gone. Okay? What's your plan? They're at safety. Sydney, who else? Draft? Trade? Don't. If you trade for another $8 million guy, you'll know exactly why. You know, the Eagles, there was something that was posted out that said the Gardner Johnson move was strictly money. You sound dumb doing that. Why is it money? Read. Oh, my God. Look like a classic. This guy just got up this morning, and he just went. You know what? It's like the Mona Lisa sitting in front of you, and Howie Roseman just took a blowtorch and went to the fucking Mona Lisa, known as the number one defense. Uno one. And just took a blowtorch to it when he threw of the draft picks to be good. That's it. Hey, just 3 in a shitty draft. This guy just went right in Vic Fangio's sandbox and blew that fucking defense to smithereens. Everyone's hit with shrapnel, including Vic. You know, I got to tell you, 5 years ago, I was like, you know, I thought the Eagles were a boring franchise. Man. It was one of the, you guys are underrated. You know, the Cowboys have their issues, and you win, which makes it even better. Man, you make it tougher on yourselves. Man. It's like how he sent a cyber attack into the defensive team meeting rooms and just had a cyber attack. How come my tablet's not working? What's up with my cell phone? Where are we going? What happened? I can't log on. Help me. Help me. Drafting a rookie can't always be the answer. To replace a starter like CJ, Quinyon Cooper were the exceptions to the rule. Hey, Mike, to your point, maybe another corner and safety that they've drafted in the last 15 years that was worth a shit. To your point, Mike. I mean, here's who I have as my top 5 NFC teams. Our leader in turnovers every year he's been here. Super Bowl years. What a stupid trade. This draft isn't replacing CJ, Milton, Sweat, Slay, Rodgers, Burks. Don't kid yourself. I agree, 100%. You're going to have substitute teachers for substitutes. Like a firing squad. Howie Roseman had the firing squad this morning or these last couple days. There goes Milton. There goes Slay. There goes Sweat. There goes Oren Burks. There goes CJ. Firing squad. Like you're at one of them fairs, you know, you're knocking them duck pins down and you're knocking them ducks down. Bang. Oh. Yeah. I don't know. This is unbelievable. So assume for a minute that AJ for Abdul Carter's real. I don't at this moment, I don't know. It helps with cap balance. That's why it does make sense, Bob. Everything Bob's saying here. It makes sense. But you're losing a very important piece to your offense, to that side of the ball. Hey, Bob, you got to agree with me now after all these years we've been doing this. The priority in Philly's offense, financially, it tells you every day and shows you every offseason what they think of defense. They think of defense as a luxury, not as a necessity. They ripped that defense apart, the number one defense in the league, and didn't give a shit about it, really. They didn't think twice about it. I guarantee you they never offered any of those players any money. Losing all that talent and that schedule, jeez, do we even make the playoffs? Oh, I see someone mention bringing back Nick Morrow. We cooked Nicholas Morrow. If Nicholas Morrow is on the team, you're in trouble. Yeah. It's making $30 million. No one's trading. Really? You ate $33 million before on a deal for Carson Wentz. Talk to me about what can and can't be done. In today's NFL, every deal's manageable. Every one of them. Now, is there more pressure on Vic and Stoutland? So Vic's got to go into the, let's see, I need a safety spice. I need a defensive end spice. I need a pass rusher spice. I need a safety spice. Oh, little touch of my swing corner. Oh, my leadership spice. That's the best spice. And then I got to roll it around. A little bitter. That shit's a little bitter. Yo, keep believing Ringo, Jomo, and Hunt, Sidney Brown are the answers. Lucky for me, I'm not that stupid. Listen to those names. I don't know. They sound like special teams guys to me, except for Ojomo. The rest of them sound like they play special teams. Oh, wait, they do. Howie's got something cooking. He may. He may. I want to know why Arizona made that deal for Sweat. We're going to talk to people in New England tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk to Howard Balzer, who covers the Cardinals, a Pro Football Hall of Fame voter and a national reporter. He was on Jim Rome the other day. And he's a friend of ours for over 30 years. And we're going to talk to him about Howie, the Eagles, the move to get Sweat, even with the knee injury, Jonathan Gannon. I think Arizona's got a shot. AJ for the Pats. First 2 rounds, Gonzalez, tear it down. You give me a 1 in Gonzalez and then a 2nd, and I can move up and get Abdul Carter? I don't know. I mean, that's a tough move off of. Drake May would have a receiver. Hey, by the way, real quick, boy, if you're Jared Mayo, the former head coach of the Patriots, are you not doing this? Gee, I wish you would have spent this money for me like you're doing Mike Vrabel. Holy shit. Couldn't you hook up a brother? I mean, you're spending money like you're thieves. You mean you couldn't hook a brother up here and spend any kind of money for me? You guys are spending money. Like I said, you guys are robbing Fort Knox. Yeah, look at somebody in here says stopgap hire. Yeah, well, don't use a black guy to do that because it's not cool. It's tough to be a black coach in the NFL. Try not to use them. Rooney Rule. Whatever. Yeah, the Rooney Rule used Jared Mayo for a stopgap coach to get Vrabel. Classic. Classic. Way to use the rule right. I mean, how much money have they spent? $400 million already in future contracts? You know, I was sitting there watching. I'm watching all the shit that New England's doing. They're talking about making a trade to bring AJ in, take on the $30 million a year. They make a move to have the highest paid D lineman in history, one of the top contracts of all time with Milton Williams. And what do? You don't do any of that shit for Jared Mayo. All right. Hey, I heard John McMullen say something this morning about Milton Williams' deal in New England. Said, do you think he's a star? That's not the point. Stars are not making, non-stars in the NFL are making star-studded money because the league is where, I told you, it's the market. You're not fighting teams any longer. You're fighting the market. Teams are not negotiating against other teams like they used to in the past. In the past, you were like, hey, do you think that team's going to get him? Or do you think that team? Now it's this. Fuck, do I want to pay that? That's where general managers are. They don't give a crap about. That's why you see more in-division trades today than ever before. Why? You're fighting the market. Dude, if you can get a first-round pick from the Commanders and you trade somebody, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I mean, you're fighting market money and elevating of salaries now, not teams. Hey, you see what the Commanders are doing? No, I'm too busy worried about the market for DTs. That's what I'm looking at. Hey, did you see the 49ers have lost 11 of the 22 starters that were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Why? Because the market has hosed them. They missed their window. Shit, I haven't even gotten off my front page yet. Sills, I'm fucking pissed no matter how people try to spin this, and they are. You don't do this. I don't want nice guys on my damn defense. You try to replace talent, but gone is the grit, the attitude, the swagger. Remember 23? Wake up, folks. William, thank you. William, not probably more with that take than any of it today. I just love that core of guys, man. It was just a special group of dudes. Were they the best players at their position in the league? No, but as a collective group, they were. Remember, it's not about the one. It's about the group. You guys are talking about Jalen Carter all the time. Hey, William, you know what these fish in here think, some of them? That Jalen Carter is going to take on less double teams this year with lesser players. Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll work. Where did you get that from? Milton Williams is a $26 million a year guy now. Sweat is a $20 million a year guy. And you think you had those in your second and third team guys? You're high. Sills, speaking facts, a disrespected male. I guess Kraft wanted to save money for his massages. I think it's an absolute disgrace what he did to Jared Mayo, that you didn't spend the kind of money that you needed to spend on him. And what you do for an African-American coach in this league who works his ass off to try to get an opportunity to be a coach, you use the Rooney Rule as a stopgap guy so that you can get your boy that you wanted in Mike Vrabel because he was still being paid by the Titans. It's a shitty move, and it's fucked up. Black coaches have a tough enough time in this league. It's a prime example on what they did. Look at what they did in Houston. I get it. D'Amico Ryans got the job, but look what they did to David Culley. Rooney Rule, worse than DEI, doesn't help black folks. Makes qualified black people look unqualified. Those coaching interviews are horseshit. Absolutely. It's a joke. African-American coaches in this sport, it's an atrocity, like it is in college football. You give a black guy a shitty job, and he's out in a year, and he never gets a quality opportunity like Brian Flores. Look, that's a different topic. I got into this business because of that. How he's screwing up the roster sales, we're doomed. You're not doomed. You're just going to have a different group of dudes, and you're going to have to hope it works. Was Lovey, Kyle? Okay. I loved Lovey. Lovey Smith's a great coach. Spot on. Thank you, my friend. We're going to go around the NFL. Tomorrow we're going to talk to a friend of ours, Dan Shaughnessy, up in Boston on the Milton Williams deal. I don't know if Shaughnessy is a Hall of Fame voter like Howard Balzer is. I'm not sure he is. I don't remember. I know that I think Howard's on both committees, the veteran and the regular 50 guys that vote on the modern players. Howard's been plugged into that for a long time. And the Cardinals made a move to get Josh Sweat. Here's the thing with Josh Sweat, obviously being reunited with Jonathan Gannon in Arizona. I think Arizona's last couple of years made some nice moves, but were they not concerned with the knee injury? You got to remember something about Josh Sweat. When Josh Sweat got to Florida State, he was one of the top kids in the country before his knee injury when he was in high school. How I know this, obviously, because of recruiting, Florida recruiting, and Florida State recruiting. So I kind of know the history of Josh Sweat. You know, he kind of, when you have an injury like that, I don't know how you're not concerned. But in the Super Bowl, I thought he was the best player on the field. So Howard covers the Arizona Cardinals in the National Football League. I'm going to get his take on the Eagles here in a second as well, but let's bring our friend on, Howard Balzer, and he joins us now here on the show. Howard, how you doing?